Good morning. It's January 13th, and this is your daily brief in science. Here's everything you need to know. A recent study from Northwestern Medicine reveals concerning insights about COVID-19 vaccinations and their impact on long COVID symptoms. Despite the critical role vaccinations play in preventing severe infections, hospitalizations, and fatalities, the study shows they do not significantly reduce long-term effects for those who contract the virus. The research indicates that symptoms commonly associated with long COVID, such as brain fog, dizziness, and headaches, can persist in individuals regardless of their vaccination status. Dr. Igor Koralnik, co-director of the Northwestern Medicine Comprehensive COVID-19 Center, described the findings as sobering and noted that long COVID is likely to remain a significant health issue. The clinic has treated over 2,800 long COVID patients from 44 states, underscoring the widespread nature of this condition. Dr. Koralnik emphasized that vaccinations do not alleviate the neurotic manifestations associated with long COVID, further complicating the recovery process for many individuals. This study highlights the urgent need for improved diagnostic methods for long COVID, as current approaches may not adequately address the complexities of the condition. Overall, while COVID-19 vaccinations remain effective in preventing severe illness, their limitations in addressing long COVID symptoms are clear. A recent study has raised serious concerns about the health risks of bisphenol A, commonly known as BPA, particularly for pregnant women and their developing fetuses. Conducted by Henrique Eloy Costa and colleagues from the University of Beira Interior, the review highlights the widespread presence of BPA in everyday consumer products, including food containers and thermal paper. BPA is recognized for its endocrine-disrupting properties, which can interfere with hormonal functions. This interference poses long-term health risks for both mothers and their unborn children, as fetuses are unable to effectively eliminate BPA from their systems. The review indicates that current legislation may not adequately protect against the risks of BPA exposure during pregnancy, suggesting a need to reassess acceptable daily intake levels. Research findings link BPA exposure in pregnant women to complications such as preeclampsia and gestational diabetes, as well as negative birth outcomes like preterm delivery and lower birth weights. Over the past decade, the narrative review synthesizes various epidemiological and experimental studies, revealing associations between BPA exposure and issues such as immune system impairments, respiratory diseases like asthma, and neurodevelopmental disorders in children, including autism and behavioral changes. This underscores the urgent need for further research into the effects of BPA and its substitutes on public health. The review also details its methodology, selecting 58 relevant studies from databases like PubMed and Scopus. Given that pregnant women show higher BPA exposure levels compared to the general population, the authors advocate for stricter regulations on BPA usage during pregnancy to mitigate these health risks. Huntington's disease is a hereditary disorder that leads to the progressive degeneration of nerve cells in the brain, stemming from a mutation in the Huntington protein. Recently, an international research team, led by Professor Patrick van der Velde from the University of Groningen, achieved a significant breakthrough by presenting the first detailed image of the protein clumps associated with this disease. Their findings were published in the journal Nature Communications on December 30, 2024, in an article titled Integrative Determination of Atomic Structure of Mutant Huntington Exon 1 Fibrils Implicated in Huntington Disease. The project received substantial support from Huntington's disease foundations, which are primarily funded by families of affected patients and public contributions. A key discovery in this research was the identification of a distinctive, fuzzy coat on the surface of the Huntington clumps. This feature sets these clumps apart from those found in other neurodegenerative diseases, such as Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. The fuzzy coat is considered crucial for understanding the role of Huntington's fibrils in the progression of the disease. Researchers successfully mapped the unique structure of these Huntington protein clumps, which is critical for advancing our understanding of Huntington's disease. Monitoring disease-related proteins in patients is vital during experimental treatments, underscoring the importance of this research. Huntington's fibrils are elongated structures that significantly differ from fibrils associated with other protein clumping diseases. Understanding the structure of these protein clumps is essential for developing improved diagnostics and treatments for Huntington's disease. A groundbreaking approach to controlling mosquito populations is on the horizon, with researchers introducing a novel genetic biocontrol method known as the toxic male technique, or TMT. This method involves genetically engineering male mosquitoes to produce insecticidal proteins in their reproductive tracts, specifically targeting female mosquitoes during mating. Female mosquitoes are the primary vectors for diseases such as dengue, chikungunya, malaria, and Zika fever, which collectively impact millions of people globally each year. Computer models have suggested that TMT could significantly reduce blood feeding rates in Aedes aegypti mosquitoes, the main carriers of dengue and Zika. This new technique appears to outperform traditional pest control methods, which often take at least one generation to show effects, allowing female mosquitoes to continue spreading diseases in the interim. Graduate student Samuel Beach, involved in the research, emphasized the urgency of implementing such methods, drawing parallels to the lessons learned from the COVID-19 pandemic. Concerns about the environmental impact of pesticides and the emergence of pesticide-resistant mosquito populations have driven scientists to seek alternative pest management strategies. The researchers highlighted the need for thorough testing of TMT in mosquitoes, along with rigorous safety assessments to address potential risks to humans and non-target species. Historically, pest control has included methods such as mating female insects with sterilized males or using transgenes to reduce the fitness of future generations. Initial results from the research indicated that females mating with TMT males had significantly reduced lifespans compared to those mating with wild-type males, showcasing the potential effectiveness of this method. Furthermore, the research focused on identifying insect-specific toxic proteins that would selectively impact female mosquitoes while remaining safe for mammals, utilizing resources like Fly Atlas II to aid in their findings. The quest for longevity and the elimination of age-related diseases is gaining momentum, with organizations like Fight Aging leading the charge. This group is dedicated to advancing research focused on modern medical interventions that target the ailments associated with aging. Founded by Reason, who also runs Repair Biotechnologies, Fight Aging provides consulting services for those interested in the longevity sector. Their weekly newsletter keeps thousands of subscribers informed about the latest developments in the field, showcasing significant findings that could shape future treatments. Recent studies have illuminated critical areas of research, such as the effects of fasting on age-related hypertension in rats. This research indicates that fasting can reset components of the renal renin-angiotensin system in aged rats, presenting potential new strategies for managing blood pressure. Additionally, findings related to senescent cells reveal that they express GD3, which allows these cells to evade immune clearance. This discovery points to a promising target for therapies aimed at enhancing immune responses in the aging population. In the context of Alzheimer's disease, studies show that microglial clearance leads to only temporary reductions in amyloid levels, suggesting the complexities of microglial functions in neurodegenerative conditions. Furthermore, atherosclerosis remains a significant cause of mortality, yet existing treatments have proven ineffective in reversing plaque accumulation, linking it to various age-related disorders. Research also proposes a fascinating connection between the number of respiratory cycles in a lifetime and metabolic rates, suggesting a possible constant across species that could relate to longevity. Lastly, studies indicate that the age-related loss of bone density in mice is largely independent of the gut microbiome, implying that other factors may play a more crucial role in osteoporosis. This has been your daily brief in science. To read more about these stories, follow the links in the episode bio. You can also subscribe to these updates via email at www.brief.news. For more daily podcasts about the topics you love, visit brief.news/podcasts. Tune in tomorrow. We'll be back with everything you need to know.